I only want a virgin. I don't want someone who's not clean. Because my hometown is in Chaos Han, and right now I'm working in Dongguan. I'm 22 this year and I've never been in a relationship before. I'm also a virgin. White paper looks for white paper, you know? If we're both doing it for the first time, I think that's fair. So I want to ask everyone, are there any guys like that in Dongguan? If the guy isn't a virgin, I absolutely won't consider him. This is the exact statement a girl born in 1998 told me. Her own conditions are genuinely impressive. She's 26 years old, a local from Kunming, holds a master's degree and is also quite attractive. I'd rate her looks around an 8 out of 10, and her personality is great too. When it comes to finding a partner, she has one specific requirement: the man must be a virgin. She believes there are too many promiscuous guys nowadays, too many who just fool around and don't take relationships seriously. That's why she insists that the man must not have had such experiences. Of course, she herself is also a virgin and is willing to undergo premarital checks. So, do you think her standards are too high? This is so tough. A post-2000s female doctor in Shenzhen is looking for a virgin guy. This young lady actually came from our comment section and is quite interested in our 10 million club matchmaking. She has excellent qualifications, 170 centimeters tall, holds a bachelor's degree, rated 6 out of 10 in looks, very lively personality, fair skin, and bears some resemblance to the actress Jing Tian. She's never lacked outstanding suitors around her, but strangely she's remained single. Just as we were puzzled and scratching our heads, she blushed shyly and softly explained, she studied medicine, so her education took longer than usual. Her academic workload was heavy, and crucially it was really hard. As a result, she never had time for dating. After graduation, she went straight to work as a neurologist. Because her study, work, and living environments were all very simple, and her family upbringing was extremely traditional and proper, she's never been in a relationship before, not even gone on a date. So she wants to find a virgin man. Moreover, the young lady hopes to save intimacy for after marriage. Are there any guys in Shenzhen who'd like to get to know her? I'm really about to break down. Living in this kind of family, I feel like I'm the only one holding everything up. My parents are getting older, and whenever something happens, I'm the first person they turn to. The main reason I haven't gotten married yet, I think, is because of my family issues. I grew up in the countryside, the eldest in the family with a younger brother. Everything always fell on me to handle. And then I was labeled. Just because I went to grad school, suddenly I was seen as some highly educated intellectual, burdened with huge expectations. But in reality, I'm just an ordinary person. It's just that I have no choice but to stay strong in this family. I have to rely on myself, and sometimes I feel like I'm actually quite pitiful, even showing signs of depression. I've become overly sensitive. Don't you think I want to get married and have kids sooner? The damage caused by a dysfunctional family, can it really be fixed in just a day or two? When problems arise, I'm the only one who has to solve them, the only one who has to carry the weight. But I'm a woman too. Who doesn't want to be someone's cherished little darling? I never wanted to be a strong woman. It's just that I was never allowed to be soft. Now I'm almost 40. And I'm still trapped by my family's issues. Sometimes I really think about how ridiculous, tragic, and pitiful I am. My parents don't understand me, and maybe I deserve this, because I could choose to walk away from this toxic family, but my sense of morality won't let me make such an unfilial choice. Maybe if I left, I'd get married quickly. But right now, I still don't have the ability to break free from my family's hold. So I'm stuck in my own cocoon. Maybe the future will be better. A girl born in 1998 is looking for a virgin man. Yes, we have a girl born in 1998 who wants to find a virgin guy. She is 166 centimeters tall, rates herself an 8 out of 10 in looks, has a bachelor's degree and works as a primary school teacher. Her family values are very traditional, and she herself has never been in a relationship. That's why she wants to find a virgin man and insists on waiting until marriage before engaging in that kind of behavior. Honestly, just this requirement alone probably eliminates 99% of men. But if you're part of the 1% of rare men, then she's part of the 1% of rare women. You two definitely shouldn't miss each other. A few days ago, our Shenzhen offline subcenter welcomed a beautiful Hong Kong drifter. Wow, her appearance was so sweet. She kinda looked like that party spirit girl, and her smile was especially sweet. Her dating requirements are pretty reasonable, nothing too unusual. The only thing is she has one specific condition. She wants to find a virgin. She said, if he's not a virgin, don't even bother introducing him to me. She also mentioned that she doesn't care about the guy's house, car, or bride price. She already owns a place in Shenzhen. She's 28 this year and about 168 centimeters tall. Currently, she works in management at a foreign-owned company in Hong Kong. Her parents are both retired civil servants. So her family background is pretty solid. Well, her one and only dating requirement is that the guy must be a virgin. I was really curious, so I told her, I've heard a lot of lifelong singles looking for partners say they want virgins, and for women it's easier to tell, like there's the hymen and all that, right? Then I asked her, but how would you know if a guy is really a virgin? How do you even tell? I said, is it that easy to figure out? And this girl replied, Sister Sally, I have my own methods. She said, after getting into a relationship with a guy, I'll wait for 6 months without having sex with him. If he's really a virgin, he'll definitely be able to hold out. Oh, that kinda makes sense, huh? So what do you all think? Is this method reliable? Or do you have any other ways to tell? Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments. Just the fact that I'm a virgin is my biggest advantage. Can you even find anyone like me among those born in the 1980s? This year, a girl asked me to set her up on a date, a post-80s graduate with an annual salary of 150,000 yuan, a standard 310 Shanghai girl, native Shanghainese. Most importantly, let me tell you, she's still a virgin, what we call a golden flower maiden. Now guess what my requirement is? A net worth in the hundreds of millions, a self-made entrepreneur, the big boss of a listed company, and height. High standards, at least 180 centimeters tall, a minimum annual salary of 10 million, and at least a 200-plus SQM luxury apartment in the city center. I was like, hello? I asked her, girl, what exactly are you thinking? The girl confidently replied, just the fact that I'm a virgin is my biggest advantage. Can you even find anyone like me among those born in the 1980s? This is my capital. Just wanted to ask, is it still easy to find a virgin guy in Qingzhou these days? You know, the kind who's been single since birth, lol. So today, a 26-year-old girl came to me looking for a partner. She said, well, she wants to find a virgin guy. The girl is from Qingzhou, really pretty, 1.65 meters tall, and has a nice figure. She said her family is very traditional. Her parents have always taught her since childhood to respect herself and not casually get physically involved with guys. So, she had a short relationship in college, but they only held hands. The guy she was with had been in several relationships before her, and during the getting to know each other phase, he kept pushing for intimacy. She felt they weren't compatible and broke it off. Now she wants to find someone like her, a guy with a clean circle and simple romantic history. Both should date with marriage in mind, and most importantly, they must agree on one thing: no intimacy until after marriage. Her standards for men aren't too high. The guy should be at least 1.70 meters tall, not too short, have a stable job, and living in Qingzhou or nearby is fine. Do you know how clear-headed the guys in Zhengzhou are these days? Yesterday, an out-of-town girl came to our matchmaking service to sign up. In every other aspect, she was pretty average, but she was very attractive, an absolute stunner. However, her demands were anything but modest. She wanted a local Zhengzhou man with an annual income of at least 300,000 yuan, who owned a car and property, and insisted that her name be added to the property deed after marriage. I told her that we do have many high-quality Zhengzhou bachelors here, but we also have to be responsible to these men, so I had to ask her what she could bring to the table. She said she had no dowry but was very beautiful and could provide emotional value. After hearing that, I was speechless, because guys in Zhengzhou nowadays are extremely clear-headed. They won't be easily fooled by superficial charms. If a woman wants to gain something from a man but can't contribute equal value herself, it's simply not happening. And forget about unrealistic fantasies like having her name added to the property deed. The well-off men in Zhengzhou today are all very sharp and pragmatic. What do you guys think? I recommend that ordinary girls try to marry before turning 30, because after 30, no matter how outstanding, beautiful, or independent you are, most of what's left around you will just be, well, crap. Honestly, I'm going to be very blunt. Those exceptionally high-quality men you might be interested in? They have better options. Girls today are just too exceptional. All women are amazing. So let's not engage in female competition, let's not compare ourselves to anyone, and I'm not trying to create anxiety. If you can find a good partner, then get married. If not, staying single isn't a bad choice either. There's no absolutely right or wrong decision here. Marriage does give you support and a family, but it also comes with trivial burdens. If you don't marry, you might feel lonely without a partner, but you'll have much more freedom. So no matter what you choose, it's not wrong. If you do marry, it must be to someone truly good, your ideal type. But if you really can't find that person, staying unmarried isn't a bad backup plan. Don't listen to what others say and don't stress too much thinking, "Oh no, I'm getting older, men only want younger women now, no matter how amazing I am, I'm no longer in demand." And then lowering your standards. That's really unnecessary. Living alone isn't so bad either. I'm 32 now and still unmarried. I've been with my boyfriend for over 5 years and we're very happy, our relationship is great. Of course, some might say, you've been together 5 years and still aren't married? If things stay like this forever, I wouldn't necessarily mind. But who knows what the future holds? That said, I'm not opposed to taking the next step, nor am I afraid of losing him. Once you really think things through, you'll feel much lighter, less weighed down. For me, marriage is something I both desire and resist. It's not that I don't believe it could bring me happiness, it's just, well, I don't want to test human nature.
现在啊，深圳的大理
Nowadays, the leftover women in Shenzhen are getting increasingly anxious. They've realized that the speed at which they lower their standards can't keep up with the speed at which their perceived value declines. Not long ago, at a Shenzhen matchmaking corner, I met a woman born in the 1990s who poured out her frustrations to me. She said she had been on nearly 30 blind dates, and even though she kept lowering her expectations, she was still rejected by the men every time. The woman explained that when she first graduated, she was completely focused on her career. Back then, many men pursued her, but she turned them all down. After working hard for 6 years, she finally became an executive, but by then she was almost 30, and everyone around her started pressuring her to get married. She thought her own conditions were pretty good, so she wanted an equally outstanding partner. In her mind, men who didn't own a car or apartment, didn't have a Shenzhen hukou, household registration, or earned less than 400,000 yuan a year were simply not up to her standards. Even if a man met her criteria, she still wanted to carefully assess whether he was truly sincere. As a result, she dragged things out until her mid-30s, only to suddenly realize that no one was pursuing her anymore, and hardly anyone was willing to introduce her to potential partners. On the rare occasion someone did, the matches were mostly divorced men. That's when she panicked and decided to take the initiative by going on blind dates. But even after repeatedly lowering her standards, men still thought she was too old and worried she might have difficulty having children. Eventually, she could only meet with divorced men or those who had been briefly married but had no children. It was then that she realized she had missed her best opportunities, and by then it was too late for regrets. What do you all think after hearing this woman's story?